Hi, Mike. Hi, Ashley.
Rick, when do you think we can take these meetings back live at our discretion? Given the option, I would prefer to. I mean, if people want to do it by Zoom, and obviously like that flexibility, because then if somebody's out of town or something, they have the flexibility to call in. Right. On a regular week, I'd prefer just to come sit around and office do this.
I agree, and I think.
When do you think we can take these meetings back live at our discretion?
Hang on a minute.
Given the option, I would prefer to. Who was that speaking? I couldn't hear it very well.
Hang on just a minute. I've got some feedback on YouTube here.
Oh, was that my feedback?
So I think the plan is that the council has now agreed to go back live with their meetings. So I think we can probably do the same, unless anybody feels otherwise. We have the ability.
Come on, Martha, come on out of there. I think we got them all. Let's talk about just a little bit. You can get all of them out.
Chad, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. And then yeah. So I think that at your pleasure, we can go back to live meetings. Council has voted at their last meeting to do it. We can continue to under the governor's orders to do it via Zoom, but like I said, whatever the consensus is, we probably can. Let's save it for the bottom of the agenda where we have the other items for discussion, and you guys just weigh in as to what the preference is, and then we'll do whatever the pleasure of the majority is.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Trying to see how many we got here. We want to call to order. It looks like we have a quorum here.
I am ready when you are.
Call to order the Tuesday, March 30th, 2021 meeting of the Port Aransas Planning and Zoning Commission. Rick, would you like to take the roll?
I will. Let's. Nope, I got it. It's going to go in a random order. So Chad Shemitis is a yes. Garrett Kipke, is he here yet? I did not hear from Garrett. Kyle is
yes.
Here. Mike Dayan is here. Ashley is here. Craig Scott is here. Nick Lorette is here. I do not have Garrett. I do not have him having been admitted. Let me, I've got one in the waiting room, Mr. Chairman. Let me find out who that is. It's a name I don't recognize, and then we'll deal with them accordingly. I've got a Sam that just admitted. Who?
That's Garrett.
Oh, is that Garrett?
Yes.
Where are you? Oh, okay. Garrett shows it's Sam, so no problem. So I've changed your name now. We've got we have everybody.
All right. Public hearing. Port Aransas Planning and Zoning Commission will conduct a public hearing on the following. Please limit comments to 3 minutes or less. Item number 1, or item 2.1, FPLT 21.0471, final plat of Lot 1, Block 1, P8, Port Aransas 9th Street, being a final plat of 1.003 acres of land embracing Lot 10, Block 64, state land surveys on Mustang Island, City of Port Aransas, Oasis County, Texas. According to the plat filed at the Texas General Land Office, Austin, Texas, applicant Greg Smith by appointed agent Al Honigblum, property location 901 9th Street. Do we have anybody from the public who would like to make a comment?
I don't show anybody standing by for any comments or any comments.
All right. Do I need to say anything official before we move on to the next one? Closing public comment for item 2.1.
No, just continue on with public comments.
Okay. Item 2.2, FPLT 21-0347, plat of the Texan, Block 1, Lot 1, being a replat of lots 6 and 7, along with portions of lots 3 through 5 and 9, Block 51, State Land Surveys, Mustang Island, a map of which is recorded in the General Land Office in Austin, Texas. The same lands as a 2.82 acre tract described in a special warranty deed from MDW Financial Limited Partnerships to Texas Store Properties LLC, recorded in document number 202-005-7813 of official public records of Oasis County, Texas. Applicant Texas Store Properties LLC, property location 3401 Highway 361. Has anybody signed in to make a public comment on item 2.2 or submitted anything in writing? Rick, do you see any comments there that I don't see on our side?
Nope, don't see anything. I'll holler at you if anything pops up.
Item 2.3, FPLT 21-0473, final plat of lots 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, Block 1, Car Corner, being a replats of lot 1R, 17R, and 20R, Block 1, Aransas Holding Company, Subdivision Section C, City of Port Aransas, Oasis County, Texas. According to the plat recorded in volume 68, page 85, map records of Oasis County, Texas, applicant Joseph and Patty Carr, property location 500 block of West Avenue A. All right, moving on to item 2.4, final plat FPLT 21-0474, plat of Palmilla Beach PUD Unit 3B, being a replat of Lot 10, Block 1, Lots 3 through 6 and 12, Block 2, Lot 1, Block 3, Lots 1, 2, 3, and 4, Block 8, Palmilla Beach, and map of which is recorded in volume 6.8, pages 2.4 through 2.9, map records of Oasis County, Texas, Lot 15C, Block 8, and Lots 1D and 1E, Block 13. Palmilla Beach PUD Unit 2, a map of which is recorded in volume 69, pages 63 through 68, map records of Oasis County, Texas. All right, moving on. Agenda item number 3, citizen comments and reports. At this time, comments will be taken from the audience on its subject matter. On any subject matter, please limit comments to 3 minutes in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. The Planning and Zoning Commission may not discuss or take action on any item that has not been posted on the agenda. Do we have any citizen comments or anybody who is logged in tonight to submit as such?
We do not. And let me confirm again, because I'm kind of new to this hosting. So we're still looking at the, you're still seeing the agenda on your screens, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I want to make sure.
All right, moving on to, are you good, Rick? Are you still on the other second?
I'm good.
All right. Number 4, items for consideration. Discuss, take action, or pass on any of the following. 4.1, discuss and take appropriate action on minutes from the rescheduled planning and zoning meeting from March the 2nd, 2021.
And I believe
Nicole said they would do them on the next meeting.
right.
Okay.
Nicole is on. Do you you didn't get these out late, I don't believe. I know there was an issue with permissions to get these, that Nicole is struggling to get the permissions to get them attached. So I'm going to say that unless she chimes in here, that we'll pass and take the meeting, the minutes at the next meeting.
Okay. So for items 4.1, we are going to pass and I guess approve as such or disapprove in the next P&Z meeting in April. Do we need to do the standard motion process on this?
No, we can just skip this item.
Okay.
Take no action.
Item 4.2, FPLT 21-0471, final plat of Lot 1, Block 1, Port A, 9th Street.
So let me so let's look at the existing. So this is an application. Let's look at the proposed plat, see if I can get this done. So again, let me add, are you seeing the plat of?
Yes.
Yes.
Page 10 in the agenda she sent out this morning.
The plat map, okay. Again, this is just quite simply a replat of two lots, as you have here into the single lot. So combination. There was an issue, and I don't know. I don't think we had it. I don't think any of our engineers participated in this. Stephen, were you part of this replat? I think this was just Griffith and Brundrett a drawing. So again, a fairly simple consolidation of the two lots into the one lot. You'll see the configuration of these build lines. Again, pretty straightforward application. All the utilities reviewed, approved. Again, really nothing of any particular contention, like I said, other than just the unusual building lines that are created as a function of 10th Street dead ending into this lot. There was a certain requirement that the build lines were a certain distance from that public street. So that's why you have this strange arrangement right here. Beyond that, it was a pretty straightforward replat with typical build lines. So staff recommends approval.
And Stephen did have an approval in there, I guess a no contest
correct.
in there as well.
Let's see. Yes. And again, these are just the standard statements per our platting ordinance that these memos have to be on there prior to recording.
All right, Earl, do you need some? All right, just a second. All right, man. Yeah. All right.
You're back on. I'd welcome a motion here if anybody would like to proceed on to the next item.
I'll make a motion to recommend approval by council for FPLT 21-0471 final plat of Lot 1, Block 1, Port A, 9th Street.
I'll second.
Rick, you want to call the roll?
All right, I will call the roll. So Garrett Kipke,
Yes.
Kyle Bridges,
Yes.
Mike Dayan,
Yes.
Ashley Robertson,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Nick Lorette,
Yes.
Chad Schmidas.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 4.3. Discuss and take appropriate action on FPLT 210347 plat of the Texan, Block 1, Lot 1.
All right, let's get this one up here. So this property you're familiar with on the corner of we used to call it the GLO tract, owned by the Myers on the corner of State Highway 361 and 1A. So there has been a proposal. As you'll see, some of you may recognize the name, the Texan. What we understand is they like to call themselves a convenience store that sells gas. I mean, a restaurant that sells gas, but it's a convenience store. So they're platting this portion, as you see here, the 2.828 acres. The map is pretty explanatory in itself. Once again, there's no particular issues of contention here. It's a fairly large tract, so this is just coming out of the larger. Trying to think if I don't think the drainage easement is impacted by this. But I know Stephen is on. Stephen, were you involved in this plat?
No, I was not.
You were not. Harris?
No, I was not.
Okay. All right. Well, like I said, it is pretty straightforward. All the utilities did approve the. Let me look at our final review comments. Were fairly benign. Just wanted to revise the legal description, which referenced that lot 8, and then of course the building lines along the highway. And if you'll notice on the drawing, they did the revised plat did include those lines as requested by the reviewing engineer. So with that, it was complete, and these building lines here. So with that, we recommend approval.
Okay, real quick, and I haven't read far enough down. There's a note from Hanson here, so I'm trying to read what they have in here.
Oh, there was one, the legal description, they were missing the part that referenced a portion of lot 8 in that, because it did encompass a portion of lot 8 from the original map. And then of course wanted to see the building lines on both Highway 361 and 1A. So they added in the building lines here, the 15-foot on 1A as the side, and then the front on Highway 361.
Okay, so the proper description is the one written on page 28 of the agenda here.
I think it's the one I'm showing you here, but
well, that was the original there.
the one that includes a portion of lot 8. I'm trying to look at too many screens here.
The one on page 8 with portions of lots 3 through 5, 8 and 9, block 51.
Yes. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it was that. Yeah, because it was the portion of lot 8 that was missing on the first one.
Correct. So on page 21, that's the wrong legal description, and then it's corrected.
Corrected on the revised, correct.
Understood. And just for record keeping, is that something that in our statement here on the agenda item, do we need to have lot 8 mentioned in there as well, or do I need to reread it and state lot 8?
I think if you reread it, that's fine.
Okay.
It's a matter once it's acknowledged here in this open meeting, it's a matter of public record now. So whatever you feel.
I don't think you need to reread it.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. That's fine. I just want to double check, make sure we're dotting all our I's. Anybody have any questions?
Questions?
Would anybody like to?
I'll make a motion for item 4.3 to approve FPLT 21-0347 plat of the Texas.
I second.
Okay, thank you.
I have a real quick question just about the aviation easement,
Okay,
just real fast, I guess. What does our sign ordinance say about the height of signage for a place like this? How high could they build, how tall could they build a sign?
typically our sign ordinance limits all signs at this point that aren't pre-existing to 20 feet.
20 feet, okay.
That'll be well short of the power lines on the east side of the runway as they currently stand.
Yeah, Mike, was that you?
That was.
Say that again. I did.
There's power lines off the departure end of the runway, and at 20 feet should be well below where they currently exist. So I
Okay.
would the sign would get in the way.
Right. And usually in that area, there is an airport map that talks about height overall. I don't think 20 feet comes into it because of the glide paths and some of the other things that I'm only barely knowledgeable about. But anything that's related to that, we do check those maps, any building and construction. Like I said, this one we don't have any development plans yet, but I don't assume from what we've heard that will present an issue. It's a good question. And at some point when those properties around the airport start to move and develop, we'll obviously have to pay close attention to that.
It probably wouldn't come into play unless AEP was willing to bury their power lines off the departure end of runway 12.
Yeah, because those will always probably be the bigger issue.
Right.
Garrett, does that help you with what you're asking about?
Yeah, that was it. I was just curious about the signage and, because of that, because of the runway easement.
Sure.
Typical sign height, and I guess just where they were, just to make sure that they weren't gonna, I don't know, just
A billboard up?
asking the question, right? So, yep. I like the Texan.
I've heard.
All right. With that, I think we had a second from, I think Craig seconded a second ago. Was Rick would want to call the roll?
All right. Kyle Bridges,
Yes.
Mike Dayan,
Yes.
Ashley Robertson,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes. Sorry.
it's all right, Nick Lorette,
Yes.
Garrett Kipke,
Yes.
Chad Schmidas.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 4.4, discuss and take appropriate action on FPLT 21-0473. Final plats of lots 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, block 1, car corner.
Thank you. So this property is just down the street here from City Hall and is really call a phenomenon, but is a common occurrence here as of late, which is one larger lot being divided into smaller lots. Let's bring this over here. So that's exactly what you have here. You have Avenue A, like I said, just down the street from us. I believe they already have signs for sale signs out on them, but bordering on the corner of Gulf and A, but running lengthwise down A. So they all meet, as you'll note, our minimum frontage. They all front on Avenue A, the 4 being slightly smaller lots and the 1 slightly larger lot, both with required side setbacks, front setbacks. The building lines are drawn in. So again, a pretty straightforward major plat just because of the number of lots involved. So there was no contentious comments. There is a shed that remains for those that are familiar with the property. Obviously, before recording, that will have to be removed. And again, you'll see this note that the statement relating to Water District Engineer Surveyor, there's a statement required on all plats that be added onto the plat map. So again, the shed will need to be removed, prior to recording. But again, not an unusual circumstance, and it's a minimal structure. So with that, staff recommends approval.
Anything building related, it will fall on the building department at time for building application, correct?
Correct.
Seems pretty simple.
They're all less than 5,000 square foot lots, right?
There's one that's 6,000 and 6388.
And 63.8 is the larger. The others are all 34 to 4,600. This one's a little bit larger.
The 688 has the existing house on it.
The existing shed is on lots 3 and 4.
They're confused by the original.
I believe.
Yeah, there it is. Page 36.
Yep, there you go. I'm sorry, on lots 2 and 3. So it's on these 2 lots. Now one of the things, let me see if this is on there. One of the things that has been a challenge for us, especially with a lot of this subdivision that's going on from staff, is that the ordinance provision that indicates when a lot is replatted into less than 5,000 square feet, it does create a 27-foot height limitation.
And that's what I was referring to as well, but I don't think that as far as I know, that's not something incumbent upon us as a P&Z to determine. It's when it comes to the building department with the
right. Where I was going with that, though, it would sure be nice, because that once that's replatted, that condition applies. So we're trying to get to where if we get hit by a bus, that it's a lot easier for our replacements or successors to see that on a plat, because these plats can sit for, like I said, probably won't, but these plats can sit for an indefinite amount of time, and it's just kind of it's one of those things that it could escape, but if it's a plat note, it makes it a little easier to remember. So
Rick, I'm not sure we've ever put that on as a plat note before.
We have
what if that ordinance changes?
Yeah, I know we've talked about that.
And you have to plat again, right?
Yeah, we'll address it at the next one, so that we'll make a decision, and a policy decision internally, so that what you're looking at will either will or won't have it on there. But at this point, like I said, I want to mention it because it does create a little bit of a challenge. When this thing sits for a while, we remember it all now, but if this thing doesn't come back for a year with actual building plans, then it, like I said, it's a checklist item. I just want to bring it up because, like I said, we're going to see this more and more as we subdivide larger lots into smaller ones.
I think what Nicole was saying is if we require a note in the plat, then I think it almost has longer term teeth than if the ordinance actually changed and would in the future allow to go to a different height. If it's written in the plat, it maybe you would have to probably replat again to get that removed from the signed plat.
Well, we'll have some discussions internally and decide what the best course of action is.
Sure.
Is that 27 foot overall or to the midpoint of the roof?
Well, yeah, same thing by our measurement of height from to mid pitch. To mid pitch on a hip gable, to the roof eave on a flat or mansard roof. But it's the same measurement technique. It goes from 35 feet to 27. That's it. We'll just leave that lay for now.
Cool.
It's still, because it doesn't change the ordinance, it doesn't change the requirement. It's just, we'll just leave it off the plat.
Trying to figure out where Nicole has her phone right now. I think it's on her speedometer.
I don't know if you should drive in Zoom or.
Yeah, I know. That doesn't look very safe.
Would anybody like to make a motion on item 4.4?
I'll make a motion to recommend approval for council for FPLT 210473 final plat of lots 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, block 1.
Second.
Rick, you want to
Oh,
call the
sorry.
roll on that one?
All right, let's start. Mike Dayan,
Yes.
Ashley Robertson,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes, again.
Nick Lorette, Nick, you're muted.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Garrett Kipke,
Yes.
Kyle Bridges,
Yes.
and Chad Schmidas.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 4.5, discuss and take appropriate action on FPLT 21-0474, plat of Palmia Beach PUD, Unit 3B.
All right, Stephen, I know you're on here now. Do you want to talk about just what changes this one constitutes?
This is actually part of the Pamela Beach PUD, and it is just the next phase, the next plat that's being proposed.
So again, a phase development, again, just another one of the phase developments, I guess, to make more shovel ready or sellable lots. Is that pretty much what?
Correct. Yeah, they're running out of inventory, so this is going to establish the new inventory that can be sold and developed out there.
And I don't think there was anything of any unusual character on this one, Stephen.
No, it conforms to the, I guess the PUD was updated a year and a half, couple of years ago, and it conforms to that.
I think these have already been addressed. So these were the comments.
Trying to read what Craig's comment is here. Revised volume and page for existing lot 1F. So they revised the legal description here.
Yes.
Correct. So that was the only issue. And usually when it's an issue like this and it's been corrected, we don't go back and get another letter from the engineer saying it's all fine. It's once the correction's been made, then that usually will suffice for us. So.
Oh, it's killing my bandwidth. I'm rolling through here. There we go. Would anybody like to make a motion here for item 4.5?
I'll make a motion to approve FPLT 21-0474 plat of Palmia Beach PUD Unit 3B.
Second.
All right, I will call the roll. Ashley Robertson.
Yes.
You, Craig Scott,
Yes.
Nick Lorette,
Yes.
Garrett Kipke,
Yes.
Kyle Bridges,
Yes.
Mike Dayan,
Yes.
Chad Schmidas.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 4.6, discuss and take action to confirm that a no dune permit BFDP 21-0488 is consistent with the coastal management plan.
All right. So again, this is the project under construction across from Sandcastle Condos. The area, again, right here. So again, they are planning some ongoing work, retaining wall improvements, and there are no critical dunes. It kind of shows you the, kind of a lay. So it's basically a repair of a replacement of the existing retaining wall. And, again, there, although we anticipate there'll be some additional permitting related to this project later on, this one is simply this. So, like I said, pretty straightforward. No critical dunes impacted. The staff agrees, and it is consistent with our coastal management plan in that respect. Therefore, we recommend approval.
If they came back later on and decided to build something in addition to this retaining wall, does the no dune permit cover whatever is added as long as it falls within our city's building ordinance?
Maybe, but but in this case, what they're proposing will require an entirely new dune permit.
Okay.
So these are pretty specific. Like I said, so once they identify that this is what we are looking at for there not being any dunes impacted, it would have to fall within this. So we're pretty, like I said,
so that they can't use this permit to go, this no dune permit to go add an additional building without coming back.
Oh, no, not at all. No, not
through
at
this
all.
process again. Okay.
What about, say, like change the grade of the parking lot that is common with Sandcastle Drive? Could they, because once they build that new retaining wall, they're going to need to most probably regrade to some extent.
Yeah, which may still not have any impact to critical dunes, but it would require another dune permit.
So this is just for the wall.
This is just for this area that's identified right here. The narrative is very precise. If they had included that in the for future, we probably would have made the same approval recommendation. But in this case, that was all that they were proposing to do. So that's the limits. That's the limits of that approval.
Yeah, page 61 kind of lays it out here.
Yeah, and I've got a question whenever.
Go ahead, Nick.
I know they're fat pinning it with their highlight. I'm assuming where the existing wooden retaining wall is, it looks, I mean, there's got to be more right of way on Sandcastle Drive, right?
There is, and this is a portion of this is actually in the right of way, and the understanding is that this will be for the mutual benefit of both the owner and the city as far as maintaining that area.
But it's not given the blessing of putting it right up on the curb, right?
No.
Okay.
We've made it clear we're going to retain part of that right of way, although it's unlikely that we'll do a future sidewalk since there's one on the south side. We will still retain that for that future possibility.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody have any further questions?
No.
Would anybody like to make a motion?
I motion to approve the no dune permit BFDP 210488.
Thanks, Ashley.
I'll second.
Was that Garrett?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right, Craig Scott,
Yes.
Nick Lorette,
Yes.
Garrett Kipke,
Yes.
Kyle Bridges,
Yes.
Mike Dan,
Yes.
Ashley Robertson,
Yes.
and Chad Schmitis.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 4.7, discuss and take action to confirm that no dune permit BFDP 21-0666 is consistent with the coastal management plan.
So now we've got, we're back to Sandcastle Drive. And they are looking for, should I get this? There you go. So right there, this water line installation. So this will be for another set of public showers, much like you're familiar with on the beach. The changing areas on either side, 4 to 5 shower heads. Again, just an additional amenity there. It is, as you can see, will be in an area proposed here where there are clearly no critical dunes whatsoever, and would always be located and positioned in such a way where there wouldn't impact any critical dunes. So this is a request from the city, following our own protocols, our own coastal management plan for these proposed showers. So subject to the dune permit being approved, plans being drawn up, this is a first step in moving that process forward. So again, it's consistent with our coastal management plan, no impact to critical dunes. Like I said, although we don't have the plans yet, I can share that is what will be there in those limits of construction, limits of construction that are identified. So obviously, staff recommends approval.
So out of curiosity, what they're going to run the water line, I guess, and looks like between that retaining wall that we talked about in our last no dune permit in the street there, or are they going to actually cut this? That's just out of curiosity.
It'll be it'll be on Sandcastle Drive, since that is that will be the water source. So that will actually be a part of the same water utility easement that exists already. They'll run it down to this location.
Does anybody have any questions on this one? Would anybody like to make a motion on this one? This one being item 4.7.
I'll make
Our last one.
I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion to recommend approval with council for no dune permit BFD P 21-0666.
Second.
I'm sorry, who was the second?
Mike.
Mike. Thank you, Mike. All right. Nick Lorette.
Yes.
Garrett Kipke.
Yes.
Kyle Bridges.
Yes.
Mike Dan.
Yes.
Ashley Robertson.
Yes.
Craig Scott.
Yes.
Chad Schmitis.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item number 5, Planning and Zoning Commission comments and items for future consideration.
probably an appropriate time to say what is the commission's pleasure as far as future meetings.
I'm going to
I'll yield to the majority. I'm fine either way.
I would like to, I mean, I personally, when available, I'd like to take it back to being a public meeting, even if it's amongst ourselves, but I do like the Zoom option. I think it allows for circumstances when individuals on this board are out of town, or are not easily available to come in. It makes it easier to where they can still participate. So as long as their Open Meetings Act is not dictating that we absolutely have to be there, I think if we could make this somewhat of a hybrid situation where those of us who want to come do it in public, we come do it in public until the state under the Open Meetings Act tells us that we all have to be together in the same room. We could leave the Zoom up as an option in there. I'm obviously welcome any comments or suggestions on this.
I like that.
Yeah, I agree with Chad. I recommend in person with the Zoom option. Covers all the bases for people that might not feel comfortable for one reason or another, or circumstances beyond their control.
I do think that we make a conscious effort to avoid Zoom meetings though while we're driving.
Yeah.
I appreciate and applaud the dedication, but really?
I guess if everybody is okay with this, then I guess collectively we can try to figure out between now and the next meeting where we're going to put this together, whose computer we're going to use to allow for the Zoom option and all those fine detail items.
Sounds good. We'll work out those details. And like I said, it's an option. I think that this, I won't say it's an upside, but probably a reality of the whole COVID crisis is certainly a greater awareness of Zoom and other type meeting formats. So it's a nice way to participate as a last resort, I guess.
Sure. And something we had discussed at the last meeting, and going forward, I still would like to have this discussion, and I'm not sure I'm not sure what our process is, or if somebody has an idea, but I still would like to figure out how going forward on true dune permits that we're going to verify that mitigation under dune permits, not no dune permits, but true dune permits, that mitigation, whether it's 1 cubic yard or 500 cubic yards, is being performed to the standard in which the dune permit was issued. And we've talked about it a couple times, so I don't know what we need to do to.
We have, of course, we have a whole lot of new commissioners. Mr. Chairman, would it be your pleasure? We just added as a discussion /workshop topic the next meeting.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Obviously our dunes are a real critical and important part of what we do here, and I know it's taxing on you as a city, and also for you guys to go out there and try to actually measure volumetrically what's going on there. But at the same time, dune permits are very expensive. So putting a burden of a full topo back on a homeowner, a prospective homeowner, is also could be a little bit taxing. So it may just be a simple opinion letter from the issuing engineer or something along those lines to state that we as a dune permit engineer have gone out and reviewed the site, and based on what we see, we feel the mitigation was done within the standard. So let's put it on we obviously can't do anything on it now, but let's have it as a discussion item.
We'll do that. And if it's all right with you, we had reached out to some of our engineers. Obviously we have just a very few that do the majority of the work. We'll invite them too, because they had some ideas and some comments, and clearly we'll need to rely on that group. So we'll see if we can get a couple of those to attend too, to comment.
That'd be great. Does anybody else have anything they would like to add?
I don't know if it'd be appropriate to do the same thing on the discussion we had earlier about plat notes. They're a precarious thing, and I can't, if you're going to put a plat note with a 27-foot height restriction on it, I'm not following it really, but then it would be appropriate that 5,000 square foot and larger lots would have a plat note with the 35 foot on it, which I don't think either one of them is appropriate. It's an ordinance condition, not a plating condition.
Okay, duly noted. We'll do some research and see what the, and bring some information back. Yeah, I don't disagree with you either, Nick. I mean, that makes sense too. That's all we got.
Anybody else? Thanks, everybody. I think we can call that an adjournment.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for your service.
Thank you.
You guys.
Be safe.